Hey guys, this is Grant Chachere, Good Our Football. We're doing our Player of the Week show. We haven't been doing it the past few weeks just because me and Jason have been busy, and Jason's obviously not here today because we've been pretty busy. But last week we just had this week we just had our last ever Player of the Week poll, and a lot of people voted. About 20,000 people voted, and the person that came up top is Evan Mickles of Southern Lab. He's a defensive end slash linebacker for them. They just won the state championship. He had 6 tackles, 2 sacks, and I believe it was 3 tackles for loss. I think that was what it
Yes, sir.
was.
Yes, sir.
I think that's about right. Yep, that's about right. Yeah, and he had a hell of a game. He was a reckoning force on the defensive line over there for Southern Lab as they defeated Riverside 42-35. So Evan, the floor is yours.
Um, well, just to introduce myself, I'm 6'1". I'm about 210 pounds. I play linebacker and defensive end. I can play also in the box at inside linebacker, which is where I spent majority of my time this season.
Mhm. Yeah, and Evan, the first thing I want to ask you is, for the second time in 3 years, your team has won a state title. How does it feel to have 2 titles on your belt?
It feels great just to because it really feels like we're starting a powerhouse now. To say that we won two in the past 3 years, and just to win it as a senior, to go out the right way with all my guys. It was about 16 other seniors on the team, and it's been a big goal for us. And we've all been together since we've been pretty young too. So it's just been a goal to that like really achieve.
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, 6 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and a fumble recovery. But your linebacking core also had Chad Jones Jr., who's a hell of a player, who's the son of Chad Jones, former
Yeah.
LSU great, and also Square.
Mm-hmm.
You go ahead.
Oh yeah, I said Chad
Yeah, and
Jones.
then
Yeah.
yep. And then you also had Chase Square, who's also a senior just like yourself. He finished his career with two state titles and 2 state titles under his belt. But early on the season, I actually went to you guys' game against Madison Prep. You guys lost by 1 point. I think that was a
Yeah.
game maybe you guys thought you should have won. Uh, but then you responded by winning about 10, 11 straight games. I mean, that's an incredible run by you guys, especially the town you guys faced with Dunham and Kentwood, and then you guys
Yeah.
had a comeback victory against Washington Christian. So,
Yes.
how were you guys able to rebound after a tough loss against Madison Prep, who's right down the road from you guys?
We really felt like we should have won that game, but at the end of the day, after we lost, there's nothing we could do but just watch the film, work and get better to not make the mistakes we made in that game and to keep winning. Because we, even before the season started, we really knew that like we had a good shot at winning the state title. So after that bump in the road, we just knew we just had to keep working. We just had to forget about it.
And you guys had a pretty stacked senior class with Dylan Day and
Yeah.
Jude Foster, yourself,
Hmm.
Chase Square, Marlon Brown. There's a lot of players in the senior class. Probably one of the more talented senior classes probably ever at Southern Lab. So, what's it?
Yeah.
What was it like playing with all those guys you've been knowing not only just throughout high school but ever since elementary school? Because Southern Lab
Yeah.
is K through 12.
Yes, sir. It's been crazy. Like I really feel the reason why we played so good, especially like down the stretch, is just because of our chemistry. Not trying to mess up and just not just playing for ourselves, but playing for the guys around us. Because like even deeper than football, like off the football field, we're just great friends with each other. Take a lot of classes with each other. It's always laughing and joking. It's just that brotherhood bond. I think that's what really helped us and set us apart.
Yeah, and he's speaking of your team in chemistry, your coach Darryl Asbury has been there for about 7 or 8 years now, and he's already won 2 state titles at his alma
Mhm.
mater. What was it like playing under him, and what will you miss most about him?
Um, it's very hard playing under him, but at the end of the day, he's a very tough coach. But it's out of all love. Like he just wants to see the best in you. Even with like guys that come through with a lot of stars, they get the same treatment as everybody else. He's still gonna work you.
Is a lot of that has to do with the fact that he was a longtime college head coach as well, dealing with all those types of players and all kinds of accolades and stars and stuff like that. Because it's a very, as a head coach, it's very hard to keep that together.
Mhm.
So is that part of it? Like maybe like his experience in college coaching was able to keep you guys grounded, but then also
Yeah, for
prepare you
sure.
for the next level.
Yeah, because like I said, he coached in college, so he knows the ins and outs of everything, especially when it comes to coaching, recruiting, getting players to the next level. And yeah, I definitely say some of his coaching comes from college. Having to be tough on players.
Hmm. Yeah, and speaking of colleges, I know that we talked a little bit before the show that there's a couple of schools interested. What has been the recruiting process like for you? And also, has it exploded since your state championship performance?
It's been kind of slow so far. I'm not gonna lie, but it hasn't exploded yet because I haven't made my highlights yet for the game, but I plan on doing so very soon and sending it out to all the coaches and just for my whole senior year film, just getting it out to as many coaches as possible.
Hmm. And what schools have been interested in you?
Sanitary and Shreveport, I know they've been pretty interested in me and a couple other my teammates.
Hmm. Okay, is that the only one, or is there a couple more?
I've been talking to a lot of coaches that came around to the school in the spring. I know
Hmm.
Lamar University in Texas. I've been in contact.
Hmm.
Well, I was in contact with one of their coaches.
Okay, awesome. And speaking of Southern Lab is one of the more historic schools in the state. Obviously, it's the kind of like the lab school connected with Southern University, which is an HBCU. So, what does it mean to go to a school like Southern Lab?
It means a lot. Like I really say to sum it up, just legacy. Because like our coaches tell us, a lot of great players have walked on the grounds before us and helped pave the way. Even just not even with football and academics too. So just wanting to keep on that legacy, show the younger kids that they can do what we did too, winning a state title and just being great.
Mhm. And since you're a senior, and this question kind of asks hold us any senior that I interview. What was it like to have that jump from being kind of like the underclassman to now you're the senior and a leader of the team? What were the challenges, and then also like what did you learn from that experience?
It came very fast for me because I went from like one year being second, third string, not really playing that much to the next year right after that starting my junior year or sophomore to my junior year. So it was very fast. Um, I'm not gonna say I wasn't ready for it, but it just came very fast, especially for me and a lot of my teammates. But it was fun to get out there, finally get my feet wet, show my coaches that I could play.
Hmm. And I want to ask you this because you're a senior and you speak about how stacked your senior class has been. But that sophomore class you guys have with Chad Jones, as we mentioned earlier, Denham Hunt, Jerome Harris, who went off in that fourth quarter where he scored the game tying and the game winning touchdown. So,
Mm.
what do you see from that class moving forward?
I just see
Looking on at
greatness.
senior.
I see another state title, to be honest. With all the athletes we have, already knowing the coaches that we got, know how good that they can coach, I really see us winning another state title, maybe two with these guys.
Right. And what have you seen from Chad Jones since he's a linebacker? And he's got a lot of coaching up since he's been a little kid. His dad was a legendary player, not only football but baseball player at LSU, and then his grandfather was a longtime coach in New Orleans. So what have you seen from him since he's been in you guys' team? And how important was he for you guys um, coming into the season, the season he's had?
He's very athletic. I can tell you that. He loves to hit. He doesn't shy away from contact. He's very competitive. For Chad, one of our starting linebackers got hurt. Inside linebackers got hurt like at the start of the season. So like he really had to step up into that role of like playing the inside linebacker job with me. So I could tell certain times he had things he needed to work on, but that just come from him being young. And I know that he's gonna progress into a very good player.
Hmm. Yeah, and just a couple more questions. But do you have any hobbies that you like to do outside of football?
I like to work out just to stay in shape, not even for football, but just for my body. I really love working out, lifting weights, running. I enjoy listening to music too. That's a pretty big part of my pregame ritual. Listening to music, getting pretty amped up. Um, Not really much outside of that. Just football, lifting weights, and music.
Mhm. Who do you listen to before games?
I like Young Boy, NBA Young Boy.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of Baton
What
Rouge.
are your, yeah, what are your favorite? What's your favorite song by YoungBoy?
Probably I Hate Young Boy by Young Boy.
That's awesome. Yeah, and what are you planning on majoring when you get into college? Is there
I
any
plan
major that you thought about?
either architecture, but if that's not available, then probably going to engineering.
What interests you about those two things?
I like architecture just because of the creative freedom that you have. Like you can do whatever you want, almost trying to design buildings. And engineering is very intertwined with architecture. So if I can't do that, I try and get into engineering.
Yeah, yeah, and so and then what NFL player do you like to mold yourself after, or is there any players maybe mold yourself after, but is there like a favorite player that you've had growing up and everything
Uh,
like that?
when I was very young, I used to like Cam Newton a lot. But then once
Hmm.
I started playing and played defense, I like to look at Von Miller.
Hmm. Yeah, that actually when I was watching your game, that kind of reminded me of Von Miller the way you were coming up the edge, man. And I had a feeling you're gonna say Von Miller's because like I wonder if he's gonna say Von Miller because that's the way you kind of looked out there.
Yeah,
Um,
like, it is
yeah,
highlights a lot. Just pass rush
yeah,
moves,
mhm,
great.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. And one last thing. What do you want? How do you want your coaches and your teachers to remember you?
Um, just a quiet, quiet, humble kid with a good work ethic. Just stay out the way, do what I have to do, just get the
Mhm.
job done.
And what will you miss the most about not only playing at Southern Lab, but also going to school at Southern Lab?
Just the brotherhood connection that I had with my teammates, and just the whole family feeling that I had at the school, coming down from the administration and the teachers. Like you really feel that they care about you more than just the athlete or just a student. Like even with the coaches, it's like a father son connection. Giving you rides to and from practice, just giving you advice on life outside of football is just very close knit and family oriented.
Hmm. All right, that's just about it, guys. This is your player of the week, Southern Lab, defensive end slash linebacker, Evan Mickles. Evan, would you like to say anything else before we wrap it up?
Just want to give a shout out to all my teammates and coaches and family.
All right. Thanks, Evan, for being on the. Thanks, Evan, for joining me on the show.
Thank
It's
you
a
for having me.
hell of a way to end the season, my man. And also, congratulations to your state title, and best of luck on your future endeavors.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.